A huge thanks to our sponsors for working alongside with us and providing programming with us. The United Health Group, that's our seed funder, and we also work along with Uber, Google Health, Truist, the Home Depot, SAP, Coca-Cola Company, and Mozilla. So again, a huge thanks to our sponsors in helping us co-develop programs and for supporting us every step of the way. So today we are in for a treat. We have a star cast of folks that will talk to us about the National Data Mine and also joining the National Data Mine. And since I'm a former NSF program officer, I got to read the acknowledgement of support and disclaimer here. Just note that what they're going to talk about in all this is based on work supported by the National Science Foundation under grant number project 2123321. All opinions are their own, all good. Okay, great. So I just want to do a quick introduction of our speakers today. Dr. Monica Jackson, she's the Deputy Provost and Dean of Faculty at American University and Professor of Mathematics and Statistics. She established American's first summer program of research and learning, where undergraduate students and faculty from across the country conduct scientific research. She also proudly co-directs a summer program, Spatial Spiral, for students to engage in statistics problems or mathematical research. Dr. Jackson's research area is in spatial statistics and disease surveillance, with applications to developing, investigating methods for detecting cancer clusters, global clustering patterns, and developing simulation algorithms for spatially correlated data. She's had a number of honors and she comes well established. And of course, she got her start in her career here in the AUC, and she's a proud graduate of Clark Atlanta University with both a bachelor's and master's degree in mathematics. So always glad to have you come back around. And also she has a PhD in scientific computation from the University of Maryland. So always awesome to have the AUC alum come back and hang with us. So great to have you, Dr. Jackson. Dr. Katherine Ensor, she is the Noah Harding Professor of Statistics in the George R. Brown School of Engineering at Rice University, where she serves as the Director for Center for Computational Finance and Economic Systems. She oversees the development of the Kinder Institute Urban Data Platform, which is a resource for the greater Houston area. Dr. Ensor's expertise includes modern statistics. She enjoys developing innovative statistical techniques to answer important questions in science, engineering, and business, with a focus on the environment, energy, and finance. She's a fellow of the American Statistical Association, also a fellow of the AAAS, and also comes with a number of medals and awards. She is currently the president of the American Statistical Association, and she holds a bachelor's and master's degrees in mathematics from Arkansas State University and a PhD in statistics from Texas A&M University. Great to have a fellow president of another organization join us today. I'm president-elect of the Association for Women in Mathematics. So, you know, we're all presidents here in the house. So great to have you, Dr. Ensor. Dr. Donna LaLonde also is here with us today. She's the Director of Strategic Initiatives and Outreach at the American Statistical Association, where she works with talented colleagues to advance the vision and mission of the ASA. Prior to joining, she was a faculty member at Washburn University, where she enjoyed teaching and learning with colleagues and students. She's also served in various administrative positions, including interim chair and associate vice president for academic affairs. In her current role, she supports activities associated with the presidential initiatives, presidential of ASA, I'm assuming, and accreditation, education, and professional development. So great to have you here with us, Dr. LaLonde. Dr. Mark Ward will be joining us in a moment. He's a professor of statistics and also mathematics, which is courtesy at Purdue University, which is in my home state of Indiana. Yes, I'm born and raised in Indiana. His research is in probabilistic, combinatorial, and analytic techniques for the analysis of algorithms and data structures. He's interested in data analysis, science of information, game theory, and large-scale computation. He currently serves as, okay, this is a long list. I don't think I can read all of his titles. I'll read a few. He does a lot of stuff, if y'all didn't know. He's a PI for Purdue Statistics Living and Learning Community, which is funded by the NSF. Associate Director for the NSF Center for Science of Information. Undergraduate Chair in Statistics. Associate Director of the Actual Science Program. He has like 4 more titles. He is very busy and does a lot of awesome, amazing, great work. And in his spare time, just kidding, he's the director of Purdue's amazing National Data Mine. So the National Data Mine at Purdue really is meant to address the expanding need for data science here in our country and beyond. So data scientists are the critical link that transform data into information that can be applied to solve real world problems. And at Purdue, they are exploring how they analyze data and how they find meaning in data, and also how to use it responsibly. So Purdue's Data Mine prepares students to solve today's toughest challenges while preparing for jobs of tomorrow. And their Data Mine, which Mark Ward directs, is structured into 20 learning communities of approximately 25 or 50 students each. Their students participate in courses, seminars, research, and professional development experiences, which are offered by departments, research centers, and colleagues throughout Purdue. In addition, roughly 600 students participate in its Corporate Partners program, which also enables the students to work directly with employees of companies or national labs on data-driven projects. A few years ago, when I started here, I said, Mark, we should work together. I used to hang out at Purdue. And he's like, yeah, let's do it. I said, why don't we take what you're doing, all this work at the Data Mine at Purdue, and let's expand access and do this at a national scale. Hence the National Data Mine. And so the National Data Mine, it's funded by the National Science Foundation, which aims to engage students at MSIs to work on industry-informed data science projects. So today we'll learn more about this project, how both students and faculty can join and participate. And at the end, we'll have a Q&A. You can also put questions in the Q&A button, and we look forward to this engaging discussion with the panelists. So without further ado, go ahead and turn your cameras on, and I think you all can share your screen. And while she's doing that, I encourage everybody in the audience to complete the poll. Thanks again, everybody, for joining us today.
Hi, Dr. Washington. Thank you for the invitation. I am Kathy Ensor, and as Dr. Washington noted, I am president of the American Statistical Association, and then I have my faculty appointment is at Rice University. So really excited to join this opportunity to talk about the National Data Mine Network, which is a partner. The American Statistical Association joined in the effort to bring this forward to our large communities, and so super excited to be representing part of this amazing team.
Great. Are you able to share full screen?
Donna, can you? It's Donna's in charge of it. I don't. Donna?
I thought I was sharing full screen.
Can you?
Let me try that again.
Sure. If you could share your whole screen, not the application.
I will do that.
Thank you.
So while we're doing that, if you notice this beautiful background behind me, this is truly Rice University in the spring. And so all the azaleas. And so if anyone ever has an opportunity to come to Houston, invite you to enjoy the azaleas. Okay, so here's our amazing team. And again, I'm honored to be a part of this. And Dr. Washington has really already introduced us. So maybe we move on to the next slide, Donna. There we go. All right. So what is the ASA National Data Mine Network? So there was identified a need that at some moment in the future, many of the high levels of skill that currently seem confined to the upper reaches of the digital economy or to larger, more complex organizations will become the norm among job seekers, incumbent employees, and workplaces. So this is a quote from the 2008 Business Higher Education Forum publication. And so this really identifies the need for all of us to get on board to help build these gaps in our learning and to become a part of this really vibrant workforce and contributing to our national and global economy. Donna? Some of the challenges are, the job market in data sciences remains underserved by higher education, and people of color are significantly underrepresented in data science. And so the goals of our program are to support faculty in the development of data science courses and programs, support the next generation of data scientists, and build university industry partnerships. And with that, I'll turn it over to Dr. Jackson to complete the rest of the presentation. Dr. Jackson?
Sure, thank you so much. I'm very happy to be here to talk to you. This is Dr. Washington said, I'm an alumni of Clark Atlanta University, so always enjoy coming back to the AUC. So we are very excited about this project, the National Data Mine Network. And then as an overview for this, you heard Dr. Washington mention earlier, this National Data Mine Network is modeled after a very successful project at Purdue, so the Purdue Data Mine Project. But what's different about this one and Purdue's project is that there are many data science programs and tools across the country, but most are targeted at graduate students, or they're from students that are already CS, computer science or statistics on a statistics track. This one's a little bit different. We pull in all majors, all students, all faculty in this. And so it builds upon the idea that data science is a tool that every student could utilize. So you're going to hear a lot about the project. We're going to fund 300 students, about 100 each year at minority serving institutions. And each institution, they're going to have their own kind of node, which is going to be a team of researchers. So a faculty team with about 3 to 4 students. And they're going to, this is to support collaborative thinking on these projects. So students are going to engage in many opportunities together, and they're going to connect with students from across the country. And that's going to be through these, virtual training seminars, which will teach you just fundamental data science competencies in Python and in R and in Unix. You're going to learn about data modeling, data cleaning, analysis. And most importantly, the faculty and students are going to interact and network together with academics and industry sciences from all across the country. So next slide, please. So for the students, there are 3 pathways to get involved with this. So one pathway is going to be a traditional method where you work with local faculty at your home institution. So maybe students have went to a seminar and they saw a faculty member working on a project they're interested in, or one of their professors, and they want to learn more about their classes. That's one way to get involved. But there's also other ways to get involved with this. So for students that are, say, at smaller institutions or don't have, a lot of projects that they're going on there, they can work remotely with a research mentor. So say they met someone at a conference at another institution. So this might be chosen for this method if your institution, say, doesn't have enough faculty or projects for students to work on, but there is a large student interest. Or maybe a student already knows about someone at another institution. And then the third way to get involved is that students can work on projects with corporate partnerships. And so with that, we will assist you in finding these partnerships, and that's through many ways, through alumni networks and connections, through our own contacts. You heard from our intros, we are all at very different institutions and we have our own unique connections. Also, the Purdue Data Mine project, they already have a host of corporate partners that they can assist you with in finding connections. But in all levels, however you participate in this, the main thing, you're going to have a local mentor, and that's going to be very valuable. So again, this program, it makes data science problems open to students in any major. So therefore, it strengthens the quantitative skills for all. But the heart of the program is that students do choose a faculty mentored research project in a topic that they're interested in. To the next slide. So some logistics about this program is that the projects are going to be over a 9-month period, and which follows the model again of most institutions. And students are going to be paid about $500 per month to participate, but there is a time commitment for students involved. And so you'll work with your faculty mentors to find out what that is. And for most, if you're going to definitely have a corporate partnership, you're going to agree to at least 8 to 10 hours per week to work with that partner. And again, you're going to be with a team of about 3 or 4 students. The students will led by a faculty mentor team, and so they'll help guide you on this time commitment. The next slide, please. And so there are a number of resources that students are going to have access to. For one, remember, this is an immersive project for students. So the goal is that students are deeply involved in the handwork of and analyzing data. And we hope students are so interested that they're going to continue and go on to graduate school. But undergraduate students are going to learn about data science from a hands-on work. And so through these projects, they're going to have established learning communities to connect these student and faculty research teams. So you will join a community of like-minded students interested in data science from all different angles, from different backgrounds, different fields, different interests. And remember, this is for faculty and students. So each faculty member will have an expertise in their unique field in developing shareable resources that other students and faculty can actually benefit from. So we also believe that this new community of scholars will come together with this network experience and develop a host of resources that everyone can use. Students are going to be able to attend conferences, workshops, activities. So we'll actually see in real time how data science is used and how it's actually evolving. Next slide, please. So the impact, so I mentioned earlier that they're going to have a repository of shared resources that will come out of this. But with so many student faculty teams across the country, we want to be able to share this knowledge. So we're going to help curate this repository to help make it more feasible to share your ideas and projects together. We know that data scientists, we benefit with close relationships and being able to develop partnerships with academics and corporations alike. We want to be sure that institutions are graduating students with skills that employers can actually utilize. So therefore, these close partnerships and ties will be facilitated with this partnerships. But I think one of the best parts about this project is that we're going to be able to develop some new cutting edge courses and programs at different institutions that come out of this experience. So as you all know, data science is changing fast, and our goal is to make sure it's more accessible to more students and faculty, no matter where you are in your stage of your academic career and where you're actually working. So this is one of the few programs I mentioned earlier that places that emphasis on all student faculty teams from very different, diverse academic disciplines. Next slide. As you heard, we are very proud to have NSF as the sponsor of this project. As I mentioned earlier, it's modeled after the Purdue Data Mining Project, which you're going to hear about in a little bit. And this project is actually NSF funded through the American Statistical Association, which is how you're actually going to apply for this program. The next slide. So here's a link. I think it's also in your chat. Our priority deadline was April 15th, but we still welcome many student faculty teams to go ahead and apply now. It's a fairly simple application. So I hope that you're interested in joining this very exciting project. And I see Dr. Ward has joined us. Would you like to talk about the Purdue Data Mining Project, how this kind of piggyback off of that?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. Wow. Thank you so much, Monica.
Mhm.
Yeah, good to see everybody. I apologize. I'm a few minutes late. Uh, I need your pardon and your grace on that. I was in a sign language class, and it was our last day of term. So thank you. Um, yeah, we've been fortunate at Purdue to have a data mine team for 4 years. And this NSF grant, our hope is that we can sustain this effort and expand on it, as Monica alluded to. Our sense is that that the model really enables students to kind of feel their place in the data sciences, right? That self-efficacy, that sense of belonging is really important to us in Purdue. The way we've rolled it out here on our campus is that it's administered through our office of the provost, and we have students from all the departments and colleges in the university. I think last time we checked, we had 124 different majors represented. So if you're thinking about how this program may look on your own campus, it's not necessarily seniors in statistics, maybe students in biological sciences and agriculture and the health sciences. Could be very early students, students who are first years or sophomores. Monica really alluded to the need to have local mentors. I think the mentoring is just a really key piece of how we manage to do what we do here in Purdue. There's faculty mentoring, lots of mentors from companies, nonprofits, and national labs, and so on. Yeah, so it's certainly been the most enjoyable thing I've done in my career, just getting the chance to work with such broad students across many different disciplines. And I'm really looking forward to all of the partnering, as Monica referred to, that we want to build in this effort. It's pretty exciting. So
Thank you. So now we're going to open it up to questions. If a team could turn on their cameras,
Well, at this time, we'll do the poll readout, right? Okay, so whoever's sharing the screen can stop sharing the screen. Fantastic. And I think the poll has been closed. Is that right? Also, if you have a question, please place them in the Q&A button. So I introduce Bettina Gardner, who's our amazing administrative director, who makes everything work here for the initiative. So she's going to do a readout of our poll items. Bettina?
Good afternoon, and thank you everyone for joining us for the National Data Mine Network seminar. So in terms of who's in our audience today, we have, out of the 28 people who participated, out of the 18, we have most of them are graduated and working professionals, so about 13, which is 72%. Of those that are students, we have juniors, seniors, and master's students. So those upper level students are here, which we're excited to see. And then most of our attendees are actually, as mentioned, graduated or working professionals. Then in terms of our gender split, we have 44% female and 56% male. Where do people currently live? We have 56% are here in Georgia, and then 44% are not in Georgia. So if you want to tell us where you are and you want to drop your city and state in the chat, that would be wonderful, so we can see where everybody is tuning in from. And then how many have previously heard of the National Data Mine Network? So out of the 18, only 4, and then 78% or 14 said no. So we're glad to have you here to learn more about it, and we hope that you apply. And then asking, would you be interested in joining the National Data Mine Network? We have 44% that said definitely, and then 50% that said I'm curious, and another 6% that aren't quite sure. But we hope we can get those not so sures to definitely, and those I'm curious to definitely as well. And then, are you interested in joining the American Statistical Association, or ASA? We have 50% that said yes. We have 28% that said no, and then another 22% that said, what is ASA? So I'm sure we'll get that question answered in a few moments about ASA and what they do. And then another trivia question, who is the current president? To see if you were listening, who is the current president of ASA? We have 28% that said Dr. Talitha Washington, 39% that said Dr. Donna LaLonde, and then 33% that said other, which I think was the easy way out. The answer is Dr. LaLonde.
No, actually, the answer is Dr. Ensor. So the
Dr.
answer is
Ensor.
other.
It's other. So I even got fooled by that one. And
There
so
you go.
and then we have the National Data Mine Network will serve how many minority serving institutions? And the answer there is actually all of them. Is across an assortment of various institutions, but we do plan to serve 300 different students. All right, and so from there, that's it. I'm sorry, I was scrolling a little too far. So thank you all for those who participated, and now we will open it up for Q&A. There is a Q&A button at the bottom of your Zoom screen, and you can input your questions there. And also the links from the various things that were announced earlier are in the chat where you can apply for the various programs that we mentioned. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the poll readout. Always a fun time to see where it goes. Great. So if you have a question, you can put in the Q&A. I try to go between chat and Q&A, and I'll be fielding some of the questions for our fellow panelists here. So I'm going to start with the one in the chat. It says, they're looking for open access data sets and that are related to social science topics. So the person is going to use it for a course that is scheduled to teach at Georgia Gwinnett College in the fall of 2022. Do you all have any recommendations? Will this project provide resources for faculty to find data sets that they can use with their classes? Any ideas or comments?
So could I put a plug in for my last 6 years of effort? So that is, so Rice University is in Houston, and I had the opportunity to build what's called the Urban Data Platform. And so we have assimilated massive amounts of information about the greater Houston area. Even if you're not from Houston, it's a really rich area to study. Lots of opportunities for social science work, and the data is curated and geocoded and ready to go. So I'll put that the link to that in the chat. So
fantastic. Does anybody else want to respond to that? All right, great. Thank you for that resource there. So someone asked, how does the partnership between corporates and faculty look like? As a faculty member who has experience in this field, will the faculty member do most of the job? How do you negotiate those relationships? Does this project provide financial support for faculty, or what do faculty get out of this? And so does anybody have a response for that?
I could comment on that, Talitha. The federal government funding is for 300 undergraduate students, as we've mentioned. Our hope is that the time investment won't be as significant for faculty as it is for the undergraduates, but that the faculty who work with the undergraduates will develop some new relationships, beyond the bounds of their own institution, may even develop some new corporate partnerships. Our hope is that we set this up in such a way that it's not too burdensome on a faculty member's time, but rather that they build some new partnerships they wouldn't have had otherwise, and maybe are even able to seek some corporate funding, either through some unrestricted giving from a company who might want to continue to support students beyond the grant, or some sponsored research contracts. So, yeah.
Yeah, so it sounds like there may not be money for faculty from the project. However, there will be resources and engagement opportunities with faculty to provide those insights on how do you cultivate those corporate partners? how can you have industry sponsored, there's the financial piece, support so that you could do data science work with your students. So it's a pathway or segue into that field. So yeah, thank you. That's great.
And also I'll add the benefit for faculty also is that you're going to join a network of scholars doing similar work. And so hopefully that will be beneficial. And also perhaps you can speak with your institutions to see if they can provide some additional funding. As Mark said, our funding is focused on the students and providing them with stipends, but perhaps your institutions could also provide you with some resources or some funds to do these projects as well.
Excellent point. Typically I had a faculty group come and talk to me about a project and I was able to give money that same day. It was kind of weird. So yes, definitely look inside your resource and pitch your project ideas to random people. You just never know. Great. Is there a research opportunity in this project, or is this project all about the students?
I can take it. So the project, it is geared towards students and supporting students getting involved with research, but it's also students working with faculty teams. So if faculty members have a project that they want assistance from a student, that's absolutely fine to do this. You may have students that have their own ideas of a project that a faculty member would assist with. So we hope to be beneficial. As someone, I have worked with undergraduates for a very, very long time on research projects, and I have been very successful at publishing research papers with students. So I think you'll find it, a very rewarding experience. And I think you'll also find that you will get quite a bit of research and work done with students assisting faculty with research.
Excellent comment there. And, because it's the whole ecosystem. And I could attest that Dr. Jackson published with one of our Clark Atlanta students who now will be going on to getting her master's degree at Columbia University. So yeah, she means what she says.
I should also give a plug that I started doing research as an undergraduate at Clark Atlanta University, which is why I do this now. So my first paper I did was with the faculty member at Clark Atlanta University. So that is it. Sorry.
Who was the faculty member? Just wondering.
Dr. Fong. I don't know if he was there at 19. This was in the 80s.
Someone will remember. Yeah.
Okay. I aged myself saying that, but yes.
Okay, we're here at the same time.
Talitha, if I could just jump in and add to that, I think it will come as no surprise that I also want to emphasize the connection to the ASA network as being incredibly critical, and in terms of building potential research collaborations. Will obviously encourage the students to take advantage of the various conferences to present their work, but I suspect that there will be opportunities for faculty to also present the work. And I might just highlight, Women in Statistics and Data Science Conference and the Symposium on Data Science and Statistics, which actually has a publication option associated with it now. So, being a part of the ASA network, I think will benefit students as well as faculty.
All right, and AUC has enjoyed a nice relationship here in the AUC. One of my professors, Dr. Nagambal Shah, worked really closely with the ASA and also in starting StatFest, and has groomed a lot of students from the AUC to go off in statistics. So I'm just going to give a shout out to Nagambal Shah, Professor Emeritus at Spelman College. So someone asked, can faculty from non-MSI institutions participate?
So I can, Mark, you're about to go ahead.
I was just going to point out that I'm not at an MSI whatsoever, but my hope is that we really do pull in mentors who are not in MSIs, and certainly had several senior personnel on the grant who are not at MSIs as well. That whole networking piece is just a key element of how we aspire to pull this off. So yeah.
And I think for the focus of the project on MSIs is to diversify those with access to data science and expand that. given how the statistics and the numbers look. So it's by no means to be exclusionary, but inclusionary. So if you really want to join with the project, I think, on behalf of the project team, which I'm still on, so I'm kind of double dutying here, we have a place for you. If you want to get some work done and hang out with us and do the data, right? Is that right, Mark? Is that okay to say? Just let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, we have even framed that even though the funding goes to undergraduate students, golly, I'd love to get some graduate students involved. We certainly have graduate students involved here in our data mine program in Purdue. I want it to be genuinely inclusive, really. So
yeah. Anybody who's willing and to do the dirty data, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so someone asked, oh, hi, Dr. Wright. Do the faculty have to come with a project in mind, or can they develop a project idea with the help of this fantastic network that they'll join?
Yeah, I think we support either option. If you have a project in mind, you can bring it, but if not, you can develop one. I mean, this is a 9-month project, and we are going to pull you in with the community of scholars. You'll be interacting with other students and faculty, so you may find some project ideas through that interaction. We'll have a repository of projects and resources that you can use. So we'll take either option, so whichever works best for you.
Yeah, and I guess I also want to emphasize the corporate university partnership. So I think, obviously a part of a relationship with a corporation might be to be drawn into a research problem that they have. And so I think that there's all sorts of ways in which the relationships between the university and the corporate community could be exploited in a really good way.
So I'm going to piggyback on that question. Suppose I'm a faculty member coming into data science and I'm really super curious about this, and data science is not my bread or butter, or maybe a cup of water, I don't know. But I'm super interested and intrigued because data is everywhere, and there is a demand for our students from the workplace, industry, research, for our students to have data science skills. So if I'm coming in new to this space, where do I begin? How do I come into this space? Where do I find neat projects? Where can I find some places maybe to upskill myself or my students? Any thoughts around this?
Could I comment on that one? That's probably the question I get most from my faculty colleagues who have not coordinated a pretty data intensive team is, like, where do I get started? I don't have that curriculum in my courses. I don't have that research activity in my group, but I want in. And I mean, really, that's a key part of this effort, right? And we alluded to some of the projects from our colleagues at the national labs and government and industry and so on. There's so many real world problems out there, even beyond the bounds of the academy. And we kind of hope to be that easy button for faculty where, you don't have to do all the prep work yourself. There are folks who really would love to have students genuinely interested in this area working on problems that are of importance to a company's mission or to a national lab or to government, to nonprofits and so on. And us as faculty, I think we're used to carrying all the weight on our own shoulders, but this is meant to really create a pathway by which students can participate in problems that don't necessarily start with faculty at all, right? So yeah, so like I repeatedly tell my colleagues that hear about our data mine kind of model, and it's very much meant to take a lot of the weight off of a faculty member's shoulders. Yeah.
Great, thank you for that. So yeah, just come hang out and just do it. What type of skill set are you looking for in students that want to be a part of these projects?
So I think we're looking for a varied background in students. So the one thing unique about this is that you don't have to come from a computer science, math, statistic background. You know, we recognize that data science is for all. So we just want you to be able to find a faculty mentor, someone to work with. So we're taking all types of skill sets. One thing this project will do is raise the quantitative learning we're hoping of students across different fields. So fields that maybe not have thought about data science. Data science covers so many areas. And I think everyone developing quantitative skills will find it beneficial there. So we don't have the strict requirements on what's necessary.
Great point. And I remember after we sent an email announcement out, a person called me actually that evening and said, wow, okay, I need a course to teach in the fall. And I think what they're going to do is they're going to wrap this experience around either like a topics course, or I could see somebody wrapping this around an independent study course where the students engage with the project and the faculty work with the students on a data science project, either in an independent study course, a topics course that could be variable credit depending how much time and so on. So those are just some ideas, at least here at the Data Science Initiative. Sometimes we take these external projects and then do a wraparound course. And so that way we can steward the students through the class. And sometimes it's above and beyond what the teaching load, but hey, you know, I've done it out. I love doing independent studies. Anyway, okay, so somebody asked, what are the professional opportunities? So do you have any ideas for the specific professional opportunities for students and faculty members to build their data science skills?
Well, I'm sure Mark has lots to say about this based on the Purdue experience, but I'll just share as a person who's had the opportunity to hear some of the presentations from the Purdue students at the end of their experience, and also interact with some of the corporate mentors. I feel like beyond the technical skills, the students come away with a really solid sense of what it takes to be a professional, how to be a part of a team, how to actually communicate with folks who know a lot about what you're talking about and folks who don't know a lot about what you're talking about. So I think in terms of the sense of professional self, that from my perspective, that may be the biggest benefit, right? I mean, they'll obviously get technical skills, but they will see themselves as a professional, because they will, for those who participate in the corporate industry, the corporate or industry track, they will have an opportunity to be responsible for solving a problem that's important, and they'll be able to share at the end of that experience how they accomplished that.
Great. And Mark, did you want to share about some of the students' projects there that you're putting in the chat?
I do. Well, I'm so embarrassed. I realized I put one or two things in the chat earlier, and
Okay,
I'll send it to the host and panelists. I'm sorry. So I just put a couple of things in the chat.
But our friends are on Facebook and YouTube will be viewing this. So I just wanted to make sure that it's highlighted, because I think it's important. So can you talk a little bit about your students' projects?
Yeah, absolutely. So, and this is where I caught myself, is that Donna just alluded to earlier in the week, we had our symposium here in Purdue where the students on 59 different teams with corporate partners presented their work. Really and truly, you won't see me on there presenting the work. You'll see maybe some of my colleagues, you know, in the background that have guided the students, but there's essentially 59 posters and videos up from student teams really across all different sectors of industry. My sense is that kind of makes this nebulous idea hopefully a little more tangible. If you scroll down, there's first this ugly Purdue professor, And then you get past my video and then you actually see the students work. Yeah, ignore that guy.
You remember
But-
that amazing Dr. Mark Daniel Ward? What?
Nefarious, big troublemaker. But the projects here lower on the page, you can click on any of them and kind of see some of the work that a company would have posed to the students. I think there's maybe only one or two of them that were of a proprietary nature, and we weren't able to work out the ability to put the poster or the video up. But these should all be up there, I think, for the course of the next year, right? After our symposium, this is where we archive the students' work and give some examples. And they're really and truly broad. It's all sectors of industry. Everybody's welcome in this space because there's such a need for it.
This is such a great resource to share this and to really just talk about what students can do and what sort of data value they can bring. So this is really cool. And I love how you interplay it with all these different entities, from industry to education and so on. And being from Indiana, it's always great to see John Deere. I love it. That's great. Awesome. So someone asked a question: how is MSI defined? Minority Serving Institution defined. We are an emerging Hispanic serving institution. Would our students be eligible?
Yes, absolutely. It's a loose definition. We just wanted to make sure we had a diverse group of students that were participating in this project. So you would definitely, your institution would definitely qualify. And like I said, we are open to everyone. We're not excluding anyone in this project. The MSI, we were targeting MSI to have a diverse group, but everyone's welcome to apply.
Awesome. All right. I'm just like going back and forth between all the chats. Well, this looks like a wonderful project, and I know we put the link to apply in the chat, but anybody can email anybody on the project team, and we'd be happy to collaborate or provide a link to it. Donna, did you want to talk about some ways that people can be involved with ASA and how ASA supports faculty engagement and student engagement in data science?
Sure, thanks for that opportunity. Well, and I saw that you put in the chat some of the conferences, and so that I think is number one. Think about presenting your work. We have a range of conferences from WSDS, which is a nice intimate community of about 300 to 600, to JSM, which is somewhat less intimate, of about 5,000 to 7,000 of your closest friends. But there's lots of opportunities at the conference to do continuing education and professional development. But I think what I'm really looking forward to the most as a part of this collaboration is our plan to have a National Data Mine seminar series, right? So throughout, beginning in the fall, we anticipate offering topics of interest to faculty and students around developing the skills and knowledge. I think some of those will be focused on the pedagogy side, but some will be focused on the technical skills as well. So a nice mix there. I would say that if you're a member of the ASA, we have a number of sections or special interest groups that speak to data science, and there are workshops, most of them free. You could almost attend a workshop 8 hours a day, Monday through Friday if you want. And then of course there's the opportunities with the journals. I will give a shout out to the Journal of Statistics and Data Science Education, which is open source. And I knew there was a question earlier about data sets. The journal does archive some data sets. It's an interest of many of us to try to make that more robust, but I would say go look at the Journal of Statistics and Data Science Education. Wonderful articles, opportunities again to publish. But I think my theme for the day is just become a part of a community, and it is amazing community. And so I think that's probably the most important aspect that we'll offer to the National Data Mine faculty and students, is a network. Talitha, you are muted, so you are saying some fantastic things, but we can't hear you.
I apologize. I was saying the bells are chiming outside my window. That's why I was muting myself. So before we end out, I'm just going to call on the other three panelists to just do a brief closing remark. Dr. President Ensor.
Thank you, Dr. Soon-to-be President Washington. Yeah, again, I'm just super excited about this project. Been watching the Purdue data mine for a long time, and really proud of everything that Mark's accomplished and the larger group coming together for the National Data Mine. It's very exciting, and really excited that ASA has the opportunity to be integrally involved in this effort, and hope that some of the participants ultimately find their way to the wonderful community of the American Statistical Association.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Dr. Jackson.
Sure. First, just thank you for this opportunity to present. Again, as I mentioned, I love coming back to the AUC. But to the students and faculty, I hope you found this presentation interesting, that you want to get involved with us. We are very excited about this. And so getting students interested in research at an early stage in their career is very beneficial to everyone in the long run. So please reach out to us if you have any questions or concerns. Definitely happy to talk to you more about this.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jackson. Dr. Ward, this is your brainchild that you cultivated and grew at Purdue. So what say you?
I'm having one of those moments of gratitude where I'm just so thankful for all of our co-PIs and all the folks on the call who are interested in potentially getting involved, and then just the broader support of the American Statistical Association. I'm feeling blessed beyond measure today, Talitha. So thanks so much for inviting all of us to come and gather. And I really and truly, I hope this is one of these panel and group discussions that continues well beyond the scope of this hour. Appreciate everybody's questions today, and just sure looking forward to continuing the discussion. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Well, thank you all for coming here. And this is like a fantastic team to work with. Everybody is super energized and just amazing. So just really kudos to the project team, and a special thanks to the National Science Foundation for funding this effort. This concludes our last AUC Data Science Seminar for this academic year. We will return in the fall, so please join with us. And if you want to come hang out and do some data with us this summer, feel free to shoot me an email. Just put my name in any Google Drive, Google, whatever, you'll find me. So just shoot me an email, come hang out, and feel free to reach out to any of the presenters here on the call. We are happy to engage and happy to connect. And we wish everybody a happy end of school year and a wonderful, fantastic summer. And don't